Good morning. We're in Psalm 53 this morning. I hope this psalm and this devotional finds you well. It's a very short psalm, so I'm going to read the whole thing for you. It's only 6 verses. Again, this is ascribed to David. The fool says in his heart, "There is no God." They are corrupt and their ways are vile. There is no one who does good. God looks down from heaven on all mankind to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God. Everyone has turned away. All have become corrupt. There is no one who does good, not even one. Do all these evildoers know nothing? They devour my people as though eating bread. They never call on God, but there they are, overwhelmed with dread, where there was nothing to dread. God scattered the bones of those who attacked you. You put them to shame, for God despised them. Oh, that salvation for Israel will come out of Zion when God restores his people. Let Jacob rejoice and Israel be glad. I'm actually only going to focus on the very first part of this psalm. He says, the fool says in his heart, there is no God. When you read in the Psalms and the Proverbs and the wisdom literature this phrase, fool, don't think of idiot or don't think of dumb or don't think of stupid. The fool means exactly what it does here. It's a person who lives as if God does not exist. It's a person who has cut himself off from the knowledge of God, his creation, his purposes. In scriptural language, how could that person be wise? He can't know much. He is a fool because he lives as if God does not exist. And here, God looks down on the earth from heaven and to see if there's anybody who understands. Does anybody acknowledge him? Anybody who seeks him. Says everyone's turned away. All have become corrupt. There's no one who does good, not even one. How do we hear this? Is the psalmist thinking it's really everybody, or is he just thinking about those other people? I don't know. What I read when I think of when I read this is those times in which I can look back on a whole day and not see me interacting much, thinking much, talking to, seeking out God in my day. A friend of mine used to call himself a functional deist. Basically, he looked back on his life and he saw, functionally, formally I believe in God, I believe in a personal God, but functionally I act as if he doesn't exist. You and I, when we are not oriented to God in our days, we can end up acting like fools. We can cut ourselves off from the knowledge. So like we face something, we fear something, we get angry of something. If God's shut out from that picture, right, we will be cutting ourselves off from a source of wisdom and knowledge and understanding and discernment. This is why we start our days with God. This is why we try to learn to turn to God in the midst of our trouble. This is why some of us try to end our days, really trying to think back through our days. Because the more that we can see God and acknowledge God and seek God in our lives, the more wisdom and discernment we'll have. Let's not be those that, when God looks down and sees and says there's no one who understands, let's be those who are seeking understanding. Let that be an encouragement to you. Grace and peace to you today.